Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of ISAG Talks About Change. Today we have a very dear guest who will talk about entrepreneurship, innovation, hospitality and tourism. We have the pleasure to talk to Dr. Pedro Lopes, who is the Director of Pestana Group Portugal. Also with us, we have Professor José Varela, who is one of the well-known professors in the hotel management industry. He has trained many students and executives who are working right now in hotels in Portugal and abroad. So very welcome, Pedro, and very welcome, Professor José. So let's have a look at the background of Pedro. Dr. Pedro is from Pestana.
Pedro, please.
Pedro.
Yes.
Okay,
please.
so he prefers to call him Pedro. So Pedro is a member of the administration board of Pestana Group and is responsible for the company business activity in the Algarve region. His functions include the direct management of 7 hotels with 1,408 rooms or apartment keys and 5 golf courses in the region. He is the Vice Presidency for the Regional Hotels and Tourism Association, President of Portimao Tourism Association, and Chairman of the Board of Directors for the Regional Development Agency, which is a public-private partnership between 5 major municipalities of the region and the major private companies in the area. His academic background includes a bachelor's management and business administration at Catholic University of Lisbon, plus a master's degree from business master's
Algarve University.
From a master's in economy at University of Algarve and a certificate in strategic management at Cornell University. During the past years, Pedro has been the member of Board of Advisors for the University of Algarve. So very welcome. I give you the microphone. Please just talk to our audience.
Moe and José, thank you very much to invite me here for ISAG in Oporto. It's a pleasure to be always in this city and a pleasure to be with you, boss.
For me, it's also a pleasure. Finally, I met personally Pedro. Yes. I have already heard a lot of him, and I think we are going to have a terrific chat here.
Wonderful. So thank you both. So let's start with a simple question. We usually ask this question from our guests. How did you get this job?
I was, after I have the graduation in Catholic University in Lisbon, I went, like almost always my colleagues in that time in management or in finance, they went to accounting or auditing companies. Mm-hmm. I was at Arthur Young, now it's even another name because they merged between them. I was there 1.5 years, 2 years. And I think I thought that at that time, tourism was something that could grow up in Portugal. So the first advertisement in newspaper I saw about tourism was about, at that time, not anymore today, a strong hotel group was Fernando Barato Hotel Group in Algarve. They were looking for an internal auditor. So my background was auditing. I went there and I like to be in auditing, but in auditing you see what people do. You say you should do this, but you don't do it. Mm-hmm. So I need to change to do something, and so it was where I started. In that time, that company had hotels in Algarve, Lisbon, and Alentejo. I started to check them, to turn around, to change the headquarters, and I did not stop until today.
Oh, wonderful! Quite interesting. So, if you can share with us, what does your typical workday look like?
Good question. I have also 2 heads and 2 offices because I ran the hotels in Algarve, our hotels, about 9, and 5 of them, are in Alvor, close to Portimão. So I have an office there where I help the machine who runs my colleagues who runs the hotels to do it. And but majority of the time, for example, the last few weeks or like few months, I was there maybe 1/5 of my time, and the other part was in Carver Golf. Why Carver Golf? Carver Golf is the place where we started with golfs. Mm-hmm. And why? About creativity, about solving problems. When we get to Algarve, to the first 5 hotels, as you know, Algarve is a huge seasonality problem. it works very well in the summer and the low and the peak and the shoulder seasons in terms of occupancy and average room rate, in price, in sales. But winter, no. Winter is a problem. So what to do? We decided, I think was the first time and still today, the only hotel company who bought 2 golf courses, Gramacho and Val da Pinta. And in the package, when we bought these 2 golf courses, we also bought resorts to build. So first we were focused on the golf, we learned golf, and now we have 6 golf courses, 5 in Algarve. So we are, I think, in Portugal, the biggest also golf company. And we learn also in Gramacho and Val da Pinta to build, because it was completely new for us, to build, to sell what we are building, to run the houses and the apartments of the people who are buying it. And I have to say, it started in 1996. It took a few years to learn, to develop it. And today, our strongest leg is still the hotels and posadas all over the world. But our second strong leg is now real estate, focus on tourism destination.
And you have other characteristics in the hotels you have in Algarve. That mean they have different exploitation forms. You have all-inclusive hotels.
True.
You have hotels in timeshare.
True. True. For example, the timeshare. Why we have timeshare first in Madeira and after that in Algarve? When we start, even before me in starting 80s, the interest rate in Portugal now we are afraid all 2%, 3%, 4%. It was 20% at that time. So it was almost impossible to grow a business asking money for the bank. It's even difficult to pay to the bank, even more difficult to do some money and to invest and to grow. So what we did, we did timeshare in Madeira Island. We create today is Pestana Carton, and that time was Sheraton, was the name. Jose, you still remember, was run by Sheraton. It's a funny story because it was done by the father of Dionísio Pestana. Madeira Island in the 60s were very poor, so he immigrated to South Africa. He did there some shops and some small supermarkets. He got some money, and he decided to invest in Madeira Island. So he invested and he did the first hotel. It was Sheraton Madeira at that time. The revolution comes, a mess. He lost the hotel for the syndicate. It was amazing times. You were not there yet, but we were there. Me and Jose, and it was a mess, like in any revolution. So Manuel Pestana, the father, asked the only son, Dionísio, please go to Madeira. Yeah, he just has graduation like here in management, in a school like this one, in South Africa, in Johannesburg. So I said, my son, go there, see what you can do. In my mindset, the hotel is lost. Portugal, 74, 75 was a crazy country with everything changed every day, government changed every month and things like that. So he came from South Africa, where he lived since he was born. And in Madeira Island, what you saw, a mess, like us, but because he came from the outside, he saw big potential in Lisbon, in Madeira, in tourism. So slowly he got the hotel back, like all the other people in Portugal who at that time lost their companies. They got the companies back, and after that he want to grow, and to grow he needs money, and the banks was impossible in that time because the interest were huge. I think 2021 was the limit of the interest rate in that time. So what he did, Sheraton was the brand of this hotel. Mm-hmm. What he did, he invited a friend, Peter Booth, who were with him, a South African guy in South Africa, and was at that time at Lever, a marketing and sales good company. He comes, he studied the issue, and they started to do timeshare. He built more 100 apartments close to the hotel, run by the hotel, T1s, TOs, and some T2, and he started to sell it week by week. It was a very great success. Of course, to sell timesharing, first we have to have, and I think this is important, clients who like to stay with you. clients that repeated clients. And who are the base of the sales of this time sharing were the clients who were in Sheraton year by year, many English, some Portuguese, and because they were here every year, okay, so they bought an apartment for 1 week for 10, 15 or 20 years. So this was how the bank of the group started, and we grow with this bank of timeshare.
Already with the Carlton brand.
Already with Carlton brand, exactly.
Because Sheraton was
left. They didn't like very much the idea, and they left. We bought Casino Park, a casino and a hotel in Madeira, a few more hotels in Madeira, and the second place to grow was Algarve. Alvor, exactly, Alvor. So you asked me something about the timeshare and something about the...
You have traditional tourist exploitation hotels like Alvor Praia.
Yes.
But afterwards, now you are already also in the full board.
Yes, all inclusive. Yes. So we have hotels, 5-star, 4-star, some pousadas also in Algarve. And what we saw that is a tendency. People, mainly with families, if you are a couple with 2 young kids, maybe you prefer to pay a fee and everything is included. You have lunch, you have dinner, the kids can have ice creams, the kids can eat, drink, and you pay an amount per day, and that's it. So we started with all-inclusive. First in Porto Santo, a hotel we adapt for all-inclusive. Second in Algarve, Delphin Hotel. And third, we create Pestana Blue, the first all-inclusive hotel done from its roots to be all-inclusive in Portugal. And it's a good market segment, I have to say. Of course, there are space for 5-star, 4-star, and also space for this kind of products.
Because there was a hotel in Armação de Pé, or 2 hotels in
Yes, they did the same. It was from that guy who went broke, Carlos Saraiva. Now he's hotels, and he did the same. They adapt 2 hotels to all-inclusive. Nevertheless, we don't have, I think it's okay, not a very big number of all-inclusives. In all Algarve, maybe between 6 and 8, maybe. In Madeira Island, we also now have one, Royal. I think it's the only one in Madeira all-inclusive. So it's something that is moving, but yes, it's a niche market. It's a market like the other ones.
Interesting. So a quick question would be, what do you wish your younger self knew about your current profession? When you started, of course, you didn't have this extensive knowledge and experience. So if you could go back, what would you see?
I thought that at that time tourism were just hotels. And now I see that tourism is a global activity. It has hotels, it has restaurants, it has golf courses, it has real estate, it has theme parks, it has cultural tourism, it has social tourism. So now also we have to be very cautious about energy and about sustainability. So we have to work a lot also in this field. So what started to be just running a hotel now is our industry. And it's nice to see how this industry has changed in the last decades and years.
And how do you see the market outlook for Portugal and at least regional in Europe about this industry? I
think we have 2 or 3 very good things here in Portugal for the present and for the future. First, the staff. Our staff is nice. Is nice for the clients. We are also a safe country. People do not disturb with other people, no matter who they are. I think this is a key point. Second, price, quality. We feel that we are more expensive than we were a few years ago. But nevertheless, internationally, we are not still very expensive. Mm-hmm. Of course, we cannot compare with countries out of European Union. Yes. Because in European Union we have taxes, we pay more, fortunately better salaries, better a package completely different. But inside European Union, we are a very competitive destination. So I think the future is there. And we also like to show to foreign people or Portuguese who are traveling our own town, our own street, our own place. And I think we will have for sure a good tourism and a good future in this area.
And do you think that we have recovered from COVID?
Absolutely. COVID was like atomic bomb. In our industry, really, just to guess, we had just in February open a hotel in New York, was 100 hotel and suddenly the COVID came from China, and we closed the 100 hotels and posadas in 3 weeks, all of them. So all of them was closed. Everybody went home or went to prepare it. 2020 was for tourism in the world was I think was the worst year of all. For example, in our case, our sales went down 80%. Wow. So we just saw in the hotels 20% of previous year. It was not enough even for salaries. I have to say that in European Union and in United States, the state also helped a little bit in helping to support the salaries during the difficult periods. So was completely unbelievable. 2021, the revenues come up for half of it was 2019, and this year we overcome 2019. The occupancies are not yet there, but the prices went up a lot. So in terms of revenue, we are there. And why the prices went up something? Because until a big change in this business, in hospitality, was that mainly in resorts area, and also some city tours and some city breaks, the people come to Portugal, for example, to travel agencies. Yes. Like Thomas Cook, like TUI, like Jet2. So you went to a place or by the net, and you bought the plane, the hotel, the transfer, and you come. The tour operators almost disappear in 2020. So the tourism restart 2020 only summer, and 2021 much more direct clients. So what the clients today do? The client today go to our site or go to bookings. Maybe first he go to EasyJet or Ryanair or other one and book the flight. After that, he go to our site, we hope so, or booking and book the hotel. So before the COVID, we had 20-25 clients like these ones. Now it's more than 60. It means a big change. And these kind of clients pay more than the big tour operator in the past. And why? Because, for example, in Algarve, a big tour operator, English or German like TUI, he booked us 1 year before a lot of rooms in the summer, in low season, in winter. So he had discount because he booked a lot of rooms. A big discount, all year round. That is almost finished. So if they now want to come, they have to pay the same as the normal clients. So when we say that the price jumped 30% between 19 and 22, was mainly because of this factor. The prices are more or less the same, maybe kind of 10-5% more, but the mix of the clients, because they pay on our site or in booking, the revenue, the average room rate is 30% higher than it was in 2019.
So based on this, do you think that your revenue mainly is coming through your own channels or through your partners? Means
Bus. A site, a network operator like Booking always will be the top one because they have millions to spend in promotion. If you click hotel in Oporto, immediately bookings will be the first, the second, and the third. Yeah. So because they pay millions in promotion, and Google in all all over the places, and I have to say they do it very well. The site is fantastic. So we are competing with a giant, but nevertheless Our site is also growing in number of clients, direct clients. And this is in this moment, we did the budgets, we finished last week. And for the next year, the area of activity where we spend more money year by year is always the technology and the site.
I must add
Is
that people complain about the commission paid to Booking and others. But I remember that the discount we had to make to those big tour operators, Pedro Tui and
all big,
Thompson,
Thompson's
were
exactly.
huge.
Huge, must be bigger.
More sometimes 40% discount.
Exactly, were huge.
And
Yes.
worst of all, very few hotels could receive the money on the checking out moments.
Always later.
And sometimes we had to wait 1 month, 2 months, and sometimes, and Algarve,
Thomas Cook, for example,
three
went
times 3 years
Yes.
ago.
broke. A big one,
Broke.
the biggest English one, Thomas Cook, went broke, just like that.
And with Booking and all, we have money.
In the pocket, exactly.
pocket.
It's much
So it's very direct and very, very
yeah.
interesting.
Completely agree. It's better like that.
So I think it's a matter of innovation in terms of business model for these platforms.
Yeah, and for also these big tour operators, like the ones José mentioned, also one thing, imagine that suddenly in Turkey, the lira is very low. What they do? Because they already received the money they try to put everybody there because the margins are much higher. Understand? So countries in Europe, inside the euro, like Portugal, like Spain, like Greece, started to be more difficult to compete through these big tour operators with the destinations outside euro when they can win much.
The business I'm speaking, is someone that is out of the business for more than 10 years.
You are still around. Come on.
Yeah. But it's completely different. Now we're dealing or thinking of the price that we're going to make 1 year after.
Exactly.
Today, and Pedro
Exactly.
has that problem, we have to decide almost every hour the rates we are
Yeah, exactly.
dealing with.
Yeah, like I said, 5 years or 10 years ago, in this moment, we are to 2023. The prices were done, and we are negotiating prices for 2024.
Wow.
Was like that. And today, we learn, we adapt, and we do like the travel, the air companies, We have revenue managers, and the price is changing every day, every hour, maybe, according to demand. Also, this is one also of the reasons, very important to mention that, the revenue management, real and powerful revenue management helps us a lot also to grow with the price. Because, for example, now, for peak season, we don't sell the rooms. A portion of the hotels, we stay until 15 days before. We are sweating, but we are sure that someone will show up and pay the extra price. And it can be the double of the price was paid 60 or 50% more at least, minimum of the price that the client who booked 6 months before paid. Like a plane, like a flight, exactly like a flight.
I think it depends on the pricing strategies that you have.
Exactly.
And just a good approach to introduce this to the market. Just to add to that, I was doing a research and I just found that based on the National Institute of Statistics of Portugal, or INE, revenue in the first 10 months of 2022 already exceeded an annual total for 2019,
true.
reflecting the increase in price of services provided.
True.
If it was in my time, it was impossible to
Exactly.
because I had to make the prices 1 year before.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
during the COVID,
Yeah.
it was
In terms of Recoming to very good levels. I have to say that in statistics, in European statistics is there, Spain and Portugal were two of the countries who grow up more quicker. In all Europe, no. We are still not on 2019. We will take maybe one more year and a half to get there. And the flights, I think this is where you can see it, the flights in Europe are still between 90 and 92% of the level of 2019. So some countries, yes, like us, we are better than the best year, 2019, but overall, not yet, worldwide and Europe. Also to say that the first recovery here in Portugal was in resort areas, Madeira and Algarve. Was the first to restart. It means that people like to have holidays. People still need the holidays, and they were locked at home too much time, so they run for holidays. City are like Porto and Lisbon are recovering, but they are not yet on the levels of 2019. They are almost there, but the recovery of resort areas was amazing. Was very strong.
Very good. And what do you think is the biggest challenge of the industry is facing currently? What is the biggest challenge that your industry is facing right now, as of today?
In Portugal,
let's talk about Portugal and then worldwide.
I think worldwide we need peace. To have wars in the world is very bad for tourism. So if we had peace, or if Russia stopped and Ukraine to fight, for sure the industry, like a lot of other industries, will grow up a lot. So because any war is not good for tourism. Here in Portugal, the tourism I think has a good future, but there are some challenges. I think the first is the staff. And why the staff? We can understand it, that when the COVID came, restaurants, hotels shut down. Everybody could not go there because they were closed. And when they open, we have to do tests in the reception, in the nose, and it was
total mess.
Total mess. So a lot of people who work in this industry say, "Hey, what will be my future?" So they change. For example, our key guys, some of our key guys in revenue measurement, in sites, in technology, they left. They went to companies where they thought at that time, maybe still today, they are paying better and they are stronger. Distribution, banking, insurance, they also need guys like that. And the future was not so bad. For example, supermarkets, everybody has to eat without or with COVID, without COVID. So this is the first, this is the professional top level. And now still in lower level, because who did the lower level? Mainly Portuguese from other parts of the country, from the countryside, and mainly people from abroad, from Brazil, from other countries. What's happening when this crisis of tourism show up? Everybody went back because, for example, Lisbon or Porto, how can you pay a rent without receiving money from you have to leave. You have to leave. Yeah, Algarve the same. Exactly the same. So a lot of people left. So in this moment, the first problem for one side, we need this manpower, and for the other side, it is to train and to teach this manpower because now we are more expensive than 2 years ago, and the service is not better. So we have to improve the service to keep to be a good place to visit. So this is, I think, was the first stage. For example, we did in AETA, the Hotel Association of Algarve. We did a study. We kept to collab with a new thing it mix companies, universities, and other institutions. We did a study, and for us in Algarve for the next year, we'll need a minimum of between 5,000 if it would be like this year, or 7,000 and 8,000 if it will be even a better year. So only in Algarve we need between 5,000 and 8,000 new employees for next year, because this year some restaurants did not open, some open or some hotels and the service was not there. So we need to come from scratch and restart to have these people, to train these people, to teach these people, and to give them the conditions to work. This is the first. Yes.
May I?
Sure.
I think I'm going to open some secrets because the operation must change also. And I heard someone told me that, for instance, some hotels are pricing their guests, for instance, for not asking for the room be cleaned. I was in Poland 3 months ago, and on the first night, I overnight, and in the other day when I arrived after lunch, my room was not made, and I went to the reception, and he told me, "Oh, in order you have to have your room made, you have to put the hanger outside, asking
To do it.
to do
Unbelievable.
it." And I know that some companies already in Portugal are offering
This kind of
bar
service.
offers for guests that, for instance, in a stay of more than one night, don't ask for those situations. What I mean is, guests may be must be already prepared, like what happened with planes, with aviation, is they will pay less with less service. The problem is what they value in the old service.
Can happen.
But
Can happen.
I think more and more we are
We
speaking
don't do
already
it, but can happen.
ghost
Can happen.
kitchens and things like
Can happen.
that, for
Can
instance, in groups.
Can happen. Always the same problem: lack of manpower. This is why these kind of situations happen. For example, I was 2 or 3 months ago in our hotel in Berlin. The restaurant could not be open only for breakfast, and I thought, come on, Berlin is close to Ukraine, so people come. Nobody wants to work on these kind of jobs, even from these kind of countries. So, who were doing the help? We're doing the work in the breakfast. The hotel manager and 3 young ladies from Portugal. We sent them to there, and they sleep in the hotel and they work there because they could not get anyone to work in Berlin. And on the road, I saw some restaurants still closed this summer, exactly because of that, because they don't have manpower.
In the aviation, it's the same.
Same.
The most in the in June, July, and August, the huge cancellation,
huge.
because of lack of people.
Yes, we saw some photos about, for example, Gatwick. So many people say this is not Queen anniversary. This is just a queue for go to the airport, because so many people waiting hours only to get in the airport. So I think it happened like it happened to us. The hotels happened in all activities in tourism. People left suddenly, very quickly in this year, 2021. It blew up again, the demand, but the offer was not there.
Yeah.
The services were not prepared to so quick comeback, grow, and a lot of problems. But I agree. In the future, all these kind of like hotels, like planes, will be more and more flexible. You can choose with this, with that, with clean, without clean, with drinks, without drinks, with breakfast, without breakfast, with this, with that. I think the tendency because you pay for the room, and the other services, if you want, you pay. If you don't want, you don't pay. Yes, I think it's a tendency, for sure.
And in terms of the lack of the staff, do you have any idea about the percentage of immigrants who are working at least in your group? In terms of ratio, how many are locals? How many are foreigners?
The majority are locals.
Locals.
Maybe 20% of foreigners, 25%. But majority still are locals.
And in terms of training, because you touched a very critical point, and since we are a very well-known school in terms of hotel management tourism, and what do you think would be interesting to help this young generation, help them to learn more practical lessons to prepare them for the market?
I think a mix. But I think in this problem, the hotel schools and the universities I speak, for example, in Algarve, in Lisbon, the key thing is to attract the kids, to attract again the kids for this industry. It's a job of you, but also a job of us. We should be more involved. We should create programs. I think inside our activity, one profession, everybody know it about cooks. So 1 Michelin stars, 2 Michelin stars. Cook is something with a lot of prestige, but all the other activities have less. So we have to restart, to promote and to give prestige and to pay better to some of the careers in tourism. So people who can attract people again. For example, in this study we did for Algarve, one of the issues we want targets of these studies to know how we are paying. Means our staff costs. And it's funny because even I did the study with Antonio Correia and with people from, and even I was surprised. We did a questionnaire to the hotels. So between 2015 and 2021, the staff costs increased 70%. 70. It's a lot, but it's not enough because you still need to pay more. And what we are paying in Algarve, in average, and as you know, we pay a lot, low salaries or less for people who do rooms or the low professions. But nevertheless, the average was almost 1,100, and was very close to average salary in Portugal in all activities.
Okay.
So we were surprised because we are far away from the average in Portugal, but we are not so far away than we thought. But we have to improve, and we have now, for example, we are given insurance for every employee, health insurance, and other issues. In our company, we also are very keen in paying bonus. So even in 2020 and 2021, we paid bonus, something, because 2020 we pay only for the people with less money, because if you receive less 20%, if you receive big salary, is not so strong. But if you receive low salary, it's a lot of money for people who have low salary. So we always so we have to promote and restart to the society, the people say, okay, I want to work on tourism. Also, one of the issues we had and we still have is that a lot of people went home because of COVID, and people who work at night in bars, in restaurants, during the night in the hotels, and for the first time in their life, they started to live with their family on weekends, on Christmas, on New Year, and a lot of these people say, no, I don't want to go to this activity again. I prefer to retire or to change for other activity. So this is challenges we have to in our activity.
And there is also two problems that especially people that are working in food and beverage area is not to have direct schedules. They have, most of them still in hotels.
Less,
but so they serve the lunch, they have 2 hours or 3 hours break, and come to serve the dinner.
It's difficult.
That's difficult.
Difficult.
Other thing is the problem that, as we say, when the other people have joy, we work.
Exactly. And it is what it is.
It is coming the worst day, worst night of year. It's 31st of
Exactly.
December.
People work more.
It's because everybody drinks, everybody laughs, everybody shouts, and the others.
Someone has to be there to serve, to do the job. To work in this activity, you have to like it very much, because it's this kind of situation.
Has to have passion.
Yes, passion. Exactly. Passion.
It's almost vicious.
Yeah, that's right.
Another problem also, and we have several students, for instance, that went to make internships. Now they ask for Ireland or United Kingdom or France, because they have also a scholarship for internship very high. Very high. And afterwards they can have contracts, and the contracts usually have, that is impossible for the Portuguese labor law, to have a variable portion.
Exactly. It is very difficult.
What is that? I don't know.
You receive, for example, 1,000 fixed, and according to some targets, number of employees served,
the KPI
of the comments of the clients, you receive more 50% or
because since the payments begin to be made by credit cards, one of the things that people from hotels and restaurants lost was the tips.
Exactly. Much less now.
And in Portugal, as the final price is the one that is in the price of the menus, there are people, the amount of tips people receive, it's almost
much less.
Much less. So one of the things, for instance, it's very attractive in the States or in France or in United Kingdom is the personal staff service tax. Sometimes it's 20%. It's a lot.
Usually, is on the bill. Is always on the bill. If I don't obey, they get pissed, but they accept it. You take it out. But when you are paying the bill of the restaurant, 10 or 15 or 20 is already there to pay the service, to pay the people.
So based on this, how can we attract new talents to this industry, because they don't get paid compared to other countries? Like Portugal.
This we have the same problem all over all other industries. All the things we have the same. I think one of the problems, one big issue here, and I think we have to start speaking about, is the tax level is huge. For example, if you receive a prize, example, this summer in the clubhouses of the golfs, the people with less salaries, we give them more 100 euros each person. You know how much some of them they speak to me, just so the receipt. How many they get to the pocket of the 100?
I don't know.
40 or less than 40. And this has to be said, because you are in a level of discounts, but you receive a little more, you jump for the last level, and you pay more taxes. So this is a problem. I think it's easier to catch taxes from the people, to catch VAT, to catch taxes from the salaries, but I think we are coming to a level that if you want the country to grow, if you want the kids to do companies, to invest in new jobs, we have to be less in tax. So we have in this moment, maybe one day is people working in the States is as some as $2 as the one outside. It cannot be. We are going, and I think this is an issue that why one of the reasons we cannot go closer to the average of when a person life money in Europe. I think one of the big issues is that the tax level is
Even
very
in
high.
VAT, speaking for instance with Spain
It's 21, you're at 23, for example.
23.
For example.
In food, they pay 11 and we pay 13. It's
not fair.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
You pay the petrol
Less taxes on petrol, less on everything.
So the costs of production are it's very, very difficult to compete. First, they can sell and publish for its prices without VAT. We cannot.
We cannot.
Really?
No, we cannot. It's forbidden. Things like that.
So sometimes.
And look, we are a small country, so we have small companies. So to compete with huge companies, we in bigger countries, in paying less taxes, paying less energy costs, paying less communication costs, it's not easy.
They are near the markets.
We are near the markets. It's not easy. So I think the tax is the issue that the tax over the companies and mainly over the persons, the people. Sooner or later, we have to start to discuss it.
And you are hearing someone from the biggest hotel group in Portugal.
Yes,
imagine the small hotel.
Exactly, even worse.
Yeah. So I think it totally makes sense because the tax on the companies and also individuals is a challenge for the whole industry. And what something everybody in your industry should stop?
Sorry?
Imagine what is something that you think in your industry people should stop doing or start doing?
I think we are changing slowly, but we are changing all over the years. What we need to do more? I think we have to take much more care with the ambient.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Print less paper, spend less money in water, trying to save water, independent of the cost of it, energy. Use materials more better for the ambient. For example, even before COVID, this idea started exactly on the all-inclusive hotels. You cannot imagine the amount the waste of plastic glasses, plastic dishes, of plastic everything. So we decided a few years ago to stop or to reduce 80% of the plastic, and we did. So, for example, like this, we see in the TV, we see the movies, the oceans are full of plastic. So, as the other industries, our industry has to take much more care about these kind of issues. And I think the clients also like, not 100%, but the majority of clients, mainly from Europe, from United States, they expected that it's like that we have to take more care, not to destroying more our planet.
Yes.
And COVID brought some things back. For instance, rooms were filled with paper. Yes. And right now, all the information or is in the screen or in somewhere QR
only
codes.
Plastic gloves. For the people working in hotels, were millions or masks like us, masks, plastic gloves to work. Where it was go back, but what COVID?
Yeah.
I was saying the opposite. That COVID, for instance, cleaning more the
take out the things from the rooms.
Yes.
Yes, this the mindset I think still there. The bad thing was we had to use all these masks and plastic.
I still have masks in my...
So do I. I still have one in my car.
Very well. So as you know, the hospitality industry relies on experience to keep customers coming back.
Sure.
Innovating with the latest ideas and technologies allows hotels to offer fresh, personalized experience to the guests. So how do you think hotels can innovate in this area?
In this area, we are working a lot with artificial intelligence. Why? Because each client goes to a hotel and first we have to do strong software and strong ways of not hurting him, but understand what he likes, what is his behavior in the hotel outside, what he likes to. For example, if you come from Oporto to Algarve, to one of hotels, and you like to do scuba diving, we have to understand that. So if in the future we know that in Algarve there's something new about scuba diving, a new spot with fishes or cultural or historic, found the old boat sunken, so we should contact you. Hey, do you want to come to see this? So we have to more and more slice the market, and almost one by one. And we have to understand what people want, what they want to do in their holidays, and try to prepare it and to fulfill the needs of the client. So I think for the future, artificial intelligence and technology will help us a lot to. For example, if you don't like golf, why to send to you promotions about golf? No,
Exactly.
only the things that you want to aware about it.
And where are the current emerging hotel trends that hotels need to be aware of? You mentioned, for example, about AI. How about virtual reality? How about augmented reality or robot staff?
Everything will come.
Yeah, okay.
But a robot is not a person, a machine giving you a card or shaking your hand by metal, like in Terminator. I think it's not nice to have a machine. But can be. The others, so you say another one? Yes.
Virtual reality.
Yes, for sure. Because you want to know a hotel, you want to know a destination, and in virtual reality you can see exactly how is much better than see photos or videos. So all the means you can understand the destination, understand what you can do there, how the people who live there do are helpful tools.
Do you have any questions?
No, but still fan trips are still
Very important.
Very important.
Very important. Your best way is to go there.
Yeah.
You can have fantastic glasses to do Avatar, but you are not there. Being there is always I think, what. And even with COVID, people afraid of diseases. After the government say you can leave, everybody left the countries, everybody took planes, everybody go for concerts, everybody together again. Amazing. And we listen to TV now, it will take 10 years, people joined again. But you see today in the World Cup, people always in the streets. Today in Argentina, millions of people on the street all together, they don't care. So I think our human DNA is stronger than this kind of COVID things that always happen in the story, and maybe will happen again.
And what is something that make you proud of Pestana Group?
Okay, good question. People trust us. I think people who work with us trust us a lot, and the clients which are with us trust us a lot. And I think this is the most important thing. In my opinion, what I felt is the people feel that we always deliver what we say that we do.
And that's the foundation of any successful brand. And your brand is very, as you said, trusted brand, well-known brand in the market. I think they have been in the market well enough.
For example, we start with hotels, and now we have also real estate products. We did during the COVID help us a lot, because as I said to you, the hotels will close, revenues 20%, so almost zero, and we had before, but we still had a positive EBITDA. And why? Because we sold a lot of real estate properties. Yes. For example, in Troia, for people in Portugal who live in Lisbon or here in Oporto and want to have a house, with COVID, you can have a house with a family there, yes. Apart from the other ones. So we sold a lot of real estate products. And we are doing other, Troia is done. We are doing Comporta and in close to Sines, more on the south. And few of these resorts, we still do not start to build, and they are all sold. Can you believe it? Wow. So people trust us. I think unbelievable. People buy a house with us, and we did not start yet to do it, but they know that we will do it, of course.
I think residential tourism it's not only Portugal that's getting older and older.
No, exactly.
And more people want to live
Outside the big cities.
Big cities and go somewhere.
Yeah.
Comporta,
Yeah.
Algarve.
Yeah. And mainly after COVID more, because now this kind of Teams and Zoom and all these softwares, so now everybody's using a lot. People can work at home. Everywhere. So also, I think people who are buying houses and here in Portugal, foreign people, a lot of them, before were all only old people, even retired, now also a little younger, still working, but they can do half of the work at home. So they don't need to stay in the office and they can live not in a big city. And also I think COVID, people start to think maybe not too big in huge cities, maybe smaller cities, maybe outside the cities. Also I think it changed.
Yeah, I think that totally makes sense because Portugal introduced the digital nomad visas, and we have a lot of people coming over. And what do you think about this, like Airbnb and those big guys who are playing in the small residential, buildings like apartments?
It's another offer. Why not? If people want to stay not in a hotel but in an apartment, why not to go to Airbnb?
In Algarve, there were always
exactly.
You went in the mid.
Even before Airbnb, we call it camas paralelas. The other beds. And this demand in Algarve was always bigger than the hotel demand. Can you believe it? Now we call it alojamento.
I had some receptionists that sold more rooms outside of the hotel where they were.
For example, in Algarve, since the beginning, we are used to this kind of people who prefer to rent an apartment or rent a villa with a pool than a hotel. It's what it is.
It's normal.
It's normal. I think there are clients for... we have to create the clients and to satisfy them in all products.
To know more about Pestana Group, can you give us some statistics about how many people are working there?
About 5,000.
5,000 in total?
5,000. In total. Fixed, because, for example, in Algarve, during the summer, to clean the rooms, we have outsourcing companies who do it. But belong to us about 5,000.
Okay.
In all world?
Yes.
Okay. And how many hotels do you have outside Portugal?
Good question. About 30.
30.
About. We have it in Brazil. We started in Mozambique.
Interesting.
It was my team in Algarve started the first hotel. It was Rovuma. Joaquim Machado, remember, was also there. So we started in Mozambique. Why Mozambique? Maybe because it's Portuguese-speaking country. And Pestana family was from South Africa, was immigrant in South Africa, so was close to South Africa. So we started in Mozambique. After that, we went to Brazil. After that, we went to Miami.
London.
Yes, and after that, because we are a Portuguese company, we work a lot of clients from Europe. We started to think the target was to be in the main capitals in Europe. So we London. Now we are in London, Amsterdam, Berlin,
Madrid.
Spain, in Madrid, throughout Madrid, and I think, and we are doing one for the future in Paris. So we have now our focus in doing more hotels in main cities in Europe, outside Portugal.
Any expansion to Asia?
No, we are almost there a few years ago.
Maybe once CR7 hotel.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. A colleague of mine already died. He tried to go there because he worked there before work with us. He worked in a bank there in Macau. So we had everything prepared, everything signed. It was about 25 years ago. It was very a shame, but we didn't. Was to have a posada in Macau and a hotel in Hainan. Hainan is an island. In that time, was the Chinese government started to open a torneira, open the tap to people could move in the country. So they started to have internal tourism in that island, Hainan. We went there. We said the hotel was a very hotel, not luxury at all, like army installation, and it was the right time to start, but we didn't. I have to say the guide of the government there wants money, and we prefer not to get in for not a legal situation with the guy, so we didn't. But was even today, a few months ago, I speak with UNIT and said, Pedro, one of the things that I'd like to did, and we didn't. Now we are 70 and we have more focus on Europe. It was to go to in that time to China, but we didn't. We didn't, and because it's good when you catch the train when the train starts, it leaves the station, the first station, and it was the right time to do it. After that, we had some invitations to work there, but it was so huge. For example, at that time we had 40 hotels and asked us to run 100. So it was too big a step for us, and we didn't.
Very well. And previously you talked about energy management and sustainability. We would like to know what are the plans of Pestana Group for this initiative in terms of supply, in terms of sustainability and energy management?
A lot. We are here. We have a program called Planet Guests. So we are here just like guests. So we cannot destroy it for next guests, our sons and our grandsons and granddaughters. So we teach a lot of these kind of applications in our staff. We try to them once in each 6 months to understand what we can do to not to damage so much our planet. And we have a lot of initiatives. For example, in Algarve, where I am, we had a desalinization installation 20 years ago. Used it during 10 years. Now that the south of Portugal, Lisbon down, Alentejo and Algarve has a huge problem of lack of water. We'll restart again in this winter. We'll refix it and we'll start again to have desalination water. So we free water from the company to other consumers. We are installing all over the places solar photovoltaic panels to save energy. We are working with small but engineer companies to helping us to invest and to control in all the ways to save energy. We did an agreement with Águas do Algarve for using water from a water sewer system, ETAR, that in this moment, the ETAR, this water is treated and it went to the river and to the sea. It's close to our golf courses, so we did the connection. And now they in PRR, they have some investments to do there to create the water at a minimum quality. It is class C in terms of water legislation. We receive it in this class C. We do some treatments to change for class B, and we will start to use it next summer in our golf courses. And it's good because when the Algarve has three times my population there, the clients, the tourists, the water on the sewer it's much more water. So and it's the time when the sun is stronger, so it's the best time to pick up this water and use in golf courses. So the water, so is at least in Algarve is an issue that we are a lot worried about. Saving water in the gardens, inside the hotels, and the villas, and have the salinization plant, and in the future use more and more water from sewer, from ETARs, from sewer systems.
Amazing. So, question about for our students. Do you offer internship to students? And,
sure.
And how should they apply for Pestana?
Contact me. Just send an email to me. Yes. Is enough. Yeah, sure. And we like it to do it.
We have a lot of students who are interested, and we are going to talk to them today about.
As you know, we have some hotels in Oporto, and we have. Only year round, we have 5 hotels already here in Porto City.
I used to be the coordinator of hotel management courses, internships, and it's we have sent a lot of
Good.
to Porto Santo.
Oh, Porto Santo.
Porto
Nice.
Santo,
Nice.
yes, and
Nice.
Santo
It's wonderful
Troia,
island.
yeah.
They work hard there. It's all inclusive. It's nice because they have the sea. They have, but it's working. Is very
The problem to send
nice
it
to learn.
is because of the lodging
Staff accommodation is also a big issue. Also in Algarve, we are
That's
trying
the
to solve
problem.
it.
Because there are,
Of course,
and the one that exists is too expensive.
exactly. It's imperative to for example, in last hotel we did in Algarve, we create place for 100 people to work with us there, and we have all in Algarve about almost 200 places for
the staff.
for staff and for trainees, and we need even more because I agree in places, resort areas, they are so expensive in the summer to rent that it's impossible for a trainee.
And in Algarve, I'm not saying that for sending them away, but in Algarve, for students, for trainees, there is another problem: is the transports.
Yes, true. True.
If the resort doesn't
True.
have a transfer or shuttle,
It's the only way.
Yeah,
It's
it's too remote.
For example, in Algarve, I never say a tourist to use the train because it's so old. Now in PRR, I think they will change. But the public transportation system in Algarve is bad. The clients rent cars to move. The train, the stations are not properly located. It was done in 50s of last century, so
Wow.
almost 100 years ago. No tourism at that time. And the buses are so. If you, for example, a student stays in a city like Faro on Portimão, and they need to work in Vila Moura, is a big problem to do it. So only if the hotel company provide a place to sleep, very walking distance to the hotel, or a shuttle service is the only way.
I think in Alvor you had a
Place to sleep.
Torre Alta tower
Exactly.
where the
Yeah,
train
exactly.
used to.
Exactly. We have a lot of places, almost 100 and something places for people, and it's walking distance.
Yeah,
Very good.
because your hotels are.
Yes,
We
a lot
can
of them. 5 are
concentrate.
there in that area, walking distance.
So, based on your experience of working with the young generation graduating from universities, and they start with internship and then they come directly to your hotel chain, what courses or topics in hospitality and tourism do you think are missing at universities?
Yes, the changing is for more technology, knowledge about technology, knowledge about all things, softwares, and that can help to manage is very important. Also, I've been creating new revenue, new professions like revenue management, site management, golf course sustainability management, golf course maintenance, garden sustainability. So there are also some new professions, new works that it still some people. But I think the technology, revenue management, site, internet it will be where we will need more people.
I think we should take note of that because I think this is the future, as you said, because there are some, it can be like small courses like postgraduates, or it can be something very professional directed to the.
Of course, we
current
always
market
will
need.
have rooms division, manager, fundamental manager. Of course,
Those are constant.
those are already we have good schools in doing it, and but the technology and
It's not only the run of the house software.
yes, not only.
Because, for instance, now all the in in most front office
systems.
All the systems controlling air conditioners, temperatures,
Maintenance, for example,
it's
completely different.
Everything's centralized in the
And
reception.
and the guy from maintenance in his mobile, he knows how is the air, the water, if some consumption change. So, and also we have to invest a lot in this software. They're very expensive. These guys of the computers, they are very expensive, and it's very difficult to negotiate with them because imagine to negotiate with Microsoft or with or Google or so. This is the tabela price you want or you don't want, and bye-bye. So more and more, we have to invest more and more in this kind of tools. And people has to understand and to learn how to use these amazing tools. You have to understand how to work with them, about, for example, client satisfaction and about employee satisfaction, about a lot of issues that now there are fantastic tools to help, but it's like you to run a Ferrari. We have to know to first to buy the Ferrari, and second how to drive it.
Exactly. So, where should young people start to learn these practical lessons? Is there anything that you would like to recommend to them? That where should they start?
I think it's not bad. For example, if in holidays they study and they go to a restaurant, they go to a hotel, they go to a bar, just to understand how it is. And only if you do it, you feel, oh, this is something I would like to do, or an industry that I like to be connected. Because also we have some people who come from the schools and go there. Oh, this is not my field, not my beach. So I think it's very important to also to even weeks in the summer time to be inside the other side in a bar, but in the other side. Giving the drinks, or in a restaurant, cooking, or serving the dishes, or something like that, or in a hotel, receiving clients, speak with clients, or with kids in the summer, sons and daughters of clients. So I think at the same time, people study. It's also good to have some hands-on, a little bit, and can connect it, what they are learning in the school, what they see in the places.
I must promote my course too. And in ISAG we make already that.
Good.
Because in the second year and then in the third year of the hotel management course, students must have 2 weekends in hotels, just to know how the clients, how to face the client.
Exactly.
What is behind that door in the restaurant?
The back office.
The back office,
the kitchen, the reception, exactly, the maintenance area, yes.
Because sometimes it's difficult to say to our students that the stars that the hotel has in its door are for clients, not for staff. And
it's good to understand and to feel the smell, the touch, how it works in reality, in real.
So, let's wrap up this interesting conversation. What is the one big takeaway? What is the lesson that you think that our listeners can take with them from this conversation?
I think that the world is in difficult times. Economics are not fantastic, big inflation, maybe a little bit of recession in some countries in Europe because of the war and so and so. At least I think even with the war in Ukraine, people still likes to travel, people still likes to go to eat outside. So I think that this industry has a shining future. So and it's a huge industry. You can go for a hotel, to an events company, to fly in a balloon, or to jump parachuting. You have a lot of things that to go to caves, to do scuba diving, to go fishing, to sail, to see culture, beautiful cities like Oporto, to have a few days. It's an amazing city. I think any people in the world can see that it's an amazing city. So I think the future of this industry in Portugal is it will be very strong.
Very well. And finally, how can our listeners connect with you?
Just by email.
By email. So
pedro.lopes@pestana.com.
yes. Any questions?
I'm looking for the next chat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pedro, thank you,
Thank you,
José.
José. Very
Thank
nice.
you, everyone, for joining us. It was another great conversation with our guest. Until next. Bye-bye.